I have yet another story about corruption here for you. This one is particularly pathetic. The Hill reports, Democratic Senate candidate Representative Patrick Murphy is getting a major financial boost as his campaign heads into the final stretch, courtesy of $1 million check from his father. Thomas Murphy, a Florida homebuilder, gave the 7-figure sum to the Harry Reid-linked Senate Majority Super PAC. The congressman has long benefited from his father's financial largesse. Thomas Murphy shelled out 6-figure Super PAC contributions to help him win the Florida congressional seat in 2012. On July 15th, 2 days after the $1 million check landed in the Senate Majority PAC account, the Super PAC announced to the Washington Post it plans to launch a $1 million ad buy in Florida. This is the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. So you got this little boy, this child, running for office, and his daddy steps in and says, I would like you to have this position, so why don't I go ahead and purchase it for you? Here's $1 million. Now, let me watch as you can buy more ads, get your name out there more, get more positive press, be taken more seriously by the media in the horse race angle and aspect of this. And then, oh, would you look at that? You ended up winning because over 90% of the time, the candidate that raises the most money ends up winning when it comes to the House of Representatives. That's what happened with this guy. Okay, dude, the country is not like, your local small business where it's passed down from family member to family member and, oh, you're in trouble, here's a check, let me bail you out, grandpapa helped you. People are doing this with the fucking country now. They're doing this for a seat in Congress. How can anybody be okay with this? Because what this shows you is that without the money, he's just another schmuck. He's just like you or me out there, like, I don't know, I kind of want to run for office, but where am I going to raise the money? I don't know, how am I going to do it? No, this guy's daddy steps in and he's like, I got you, buddy, you're my son, let me pat you on the head. Whereas, other relatively privileged people have their parents buy them, say, their first car or something like that. This person's like, my privilege is on level 8 trillion, bitch, get on my level. Daddy bought me a congressional seat. That's unbelievably loathsome. And nobody's talking about this. Like this article was in The Hill. I haven't seen any other outlets talk about it. This seems like a huge story. Could you imagine this was the case in Russia? So you have somebody running for office in Russia, and, their fucking oligarch dad is like, I spend $1 billion on you and get you elected. And then they get elected, and how would we cover that in the West? What a sad banana republic puppet government to the rich. This is ridiculous. This is an actual democracy. Look at what's happening. When we do it, so fucking sad. This is so sad. And by the way, guess who Patrick Murphy's running against? Alan Grayson. So an actual liberal fire breather, and he's getting kneecapped in the most nepotistic of all ways. Is that a word? I know nepotism is. Can I say nepotistic? Well, if I can't, I can now because I made it up and it's an awesome word. Nepotistic. In the most nepotistic of ways, you have Alan Grayson being defeated in the money race. God, it's like this story was made for a movie. You have the insider, Democratic establishment candidate whose daddy gave him money to run and then, more likely to win now maybe because he has all this money. And then you have the outsider who's been pointing at the corruption all along. And then these guys come along and fucking put their testicles on the table and they're like, see, I'm still doing the corruption. What are you going to do? Do something. Okay, we got to nip this in the bud, man. Because we can't keep having a system like this. Because the most qualified, best person for the job, who's actually going to represent the constituents, doesn't get the job most of the time. The overwhelming majority of the time, they don't get the job. So the way it works in more civilized countries, with a more modern system, is clean elections. Which means you have a certain threshold to get into the race, and then once you're in the race, you get matching funds for everybody, publicly funded. So then you really have a contest of competing ideas and competing philosophies, and whoever has the better philosophy ends up winning because they're going to represent the people more. You're not going to get that kind of system when you have people having their campaigns financed by their daddies, having it financed by people on Wall Street, other wealthy donors, other corporations. You're going to get them representing those people. So it's just a sad, sad state of reality here. No, your daddy shouldn't be able to give you $1 million to buy a fucking congressional seat. That should be obvious. There should clearly be laws against that. But there's not, and this is where we are right now, so we got to raise awareness and change the system, because this system honestly makes me embarrassed as an American. I take no joy in discussing this. I have zero joy in discussing this. We need to change the system to make it so that it's a system we're proud of. How am I supposed to be excited about politics? Like, I understand people who are totally apolitical and check out of the system now. I used to not get it. Now I get it. Why? Because I just did a million stories where you have, Hillary Clinton still with the Clinton Global Initiative, even though she's running for president, taking money from foreign governments, taking money, from wealthy donors here. She's doing a fundraiser with Justin Timberlake and Jennifer Aniston and Jessica Biel, $33,000 a plate. Most of the money's going to her, even though they pretend it's going to the DNC. And again, the problem isn't Justin Timberlake. The problem is the rich executives who show up to that and try to buy favors. How can I be proud of this system where fucking celebrities get to invite their executive friends and buy elections? Foreign governments get to be involved. Somebody's daddy gets to be involved here. It's not okay. The people get screwed in this whole equation. We still don't have universal health care. Every other modern nation has it. We still don't have universal education. Most other modern nations have it. We still don't have paid maternity leave. Other modern nations have shit like this. The minimum wage still isn't a living wage. Go ask how it is in Australia. It's like over a $15 minimum wage in Australia. So we're lagging behind in all these things, and instead of politicians being serious and addressing the issues, they're helping out their friends. So this is the problem, man, and we can't fucking sit by while this happens. We have to try to change it. Go join Move to Amend to try to fight back against this. Go read into represent.us to see what they're doing to fight this. Go join Wolfpack and read about Wolfpack, wolf-pac.com, to learn how to fight back against this. But we got to get the money out of the system, and we got to do it now.